All right, we've got Broncos piling up here at certain Ford dealerships. Now, some of you are going to tell me I'm wrong. Broncos back there. Let's go check them out. We've got a lot of Broncos piling up, some news stories going out about this, but this isn't actually all bad news. Actually, there's a beautiful silver lining with these Broncos piling up, and I'm going to tell you why they piled up and why they're going to start selling in just a moment, so stay tuned. All right, so why do we have currently 11 Broncos for sale? This would have been unimaginable just a year ago. But the reason that they piled up isn't because they're bad. It's not because they're unreliable, but they have piled up because the interest rates were really high. They're at 6.99, 7.99, 8.5%. And that's why we have Broncos that only, a year ago would have been unimaginable, the idea that we have a bunch. But now they piled up, and this is actually great news because they've piled up. And as soon as they pile up in your region, Ford is going to drop the interest rate or offer a really interesting rebate. So stay tuned. It's not because they're bad. It's not because they go poorly. I've owned 3. I've absolutely loved all of my Broncos. I've owned about 80 vehicles now registered to my name, and the Bronco is in the top 3. It's currently, I'm pretty certain, the vehicle that I've enjoyed the most, and it's in the top 10 vehicles for comfort. I love how it handles through the corners. I love how it takes bumps. It is just an absolute fantastic vehicle. I don't regret the purchase whatsoever. It's just been absolutely fantastic. Ford Bronco value alert and explanation of what's going on with the Ford Bronco. In certain areas, Ford Broncos have been piling up, and the reason for this is because for the longest time, if you wanted a Bronco, you're looking at 7 to 8% interest rates, and the result of that high interest is that in certain regions, Broncos have piled up in dealer lots, got a whole bunch up front, but they're finally starting to sell. So they weren't really selling all that much for months and months because that 7-8% interest rate caused them to pile up. That means great deal alert. I'm really think this is worth mentioning. Huge alert. You can now get a Ford Bronco in certain regions at 0.99% interest. Excellent time to buy a Ford Bronco, and this is also an excellent time to do a size comparison. We'll go check out all those Broncos that have piled up front. But nice little size comparison here between your Big Bend Bronco and a Ford F-150 Lightning. And also value alert, buy a Big Bend, throw on some 285 70 R17 tires onto that original mag, so BF Goodrich, great looking tire, very functional. I've driven this winter, summer, through the mud, through sand, through snowstorms. Not the greatest on ice, but definitely excellent in deep snow, deep mud. It'll keep you from being in deep trouble. And we've got a great looking Bronco there at an incredible price because the Big Bend is the value model. Now they do all come standard with a 12-inch screen now. Take a quick little look here. Standard with that 12-inch screen with washout rubberized flooring and the marine grade vinyl seats. Look incredible. Do keep in mind 2024 Big Bend, these are 2024 changes, no base model left. 2024 Big Bend has a leather dash that is stitched, looks amazing. We'll check that out. Look at that. That is a great look, a great value. That's money spent in a very smart and wise way. Don't forget your 5th tire. You don't want to be running on bigger tread, have an aggressive look, and then have that tiny little tire in the back. Don't pull off a Tiny Tim look. Got the tow hook on the Big Bend. Of course, you'll have your regular Bronco suspension, which is more than enough for most everybody. If you really want to do some extreme off-roading, get a Badlands, folks. Let's go check up those Broncos up front that have piled up because of high interest rates for quite a long time, but that's great news for us. Huge deal alert. Get a great deal on a Bronco once they've piled up in your region, because that's when Ford is going to drop, either offer really low interest or a rebate. So let's go check that out right now. All right, so here we have a 2024 Ford Bronco Badlands, and I've got something pretty surprising right here. And that's that. This is, of course, the leather vinyl package at about $2,000. But look at this dash. You've got the stitch dash and either real leather or imitation leather, but it looks absolutely fantastic. Padding on the doors is the same. Seems a little less from recollection than what I had on my 21, but it's really nice padding right here. Badlands still has that fantastic black and orange stitching highlights for the grab handles. But look at the dash here. I find that pretty impressive. That is a really nice change. I feel Ford's listening to consumer demand, seeing that the interior was a little too plasticky, and this really helps spruce things up. It looks a lot less plasticky with that dash, and of course the steering wheel, leather steering wheel really helps as well. It's a Badlands. You got carpeted flooring, so I just wanted to show that to you all because I think that's a really nice change up. And of course the orange stitching in the seats really goes well with that orange stitching in the dash. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is an improvement? Do you think it's not necessary for an off-road vehicle? Let us know what you think of the Ford Bronco. Now, personally, I don't like the idea of carpets in the Badlands model because to me the Badlands model is your Bronco for doing the most off-road stuff. And I'm also really surprised to see that the Everglades, as well as the Everglades 2024, doesn't have that leather dash. So far, the only model I can see the leather dash in is the Badlands. Now, I am waiting for a Wildtrak 2024 to come in to confirm that it's also not on the Wildtrak. So please stay tuned, like and subscribe, turn on the bell notification because I'll keep you up to date with all those important updates. But I'm thinking from what I've been reading in the order guide that the Wildtrak will not have the leather dash, and this does seem like a really nice add-on. It really does spruce up the interior, makes it look much more luxurious. But carpets inside the Badlands model, let us know your favorite model, whether you're considering getting a 2024 Bronco now that we can get interest rates as low as 0.99% in certain regions. And if you haven't gotten it yet, you're gonna get that 1% available financing soon as those Broncos start piling up in your area. And folks, they will. Honestly, there's only so many buyers that can pay cash or withstand the insanity of 7.99 or 8.49%. So I really appreciate you all watching. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and I do hope you'll catch one of these other videos. We've gone over 1,000 videos produced, and we hope that you'll enjoy more. Just click on one of them coming up. It'll really help us out.